Hi, Glenn here, Monster Guitars. This time I'm going to show you a useful and pretty straightforward little hack that you can perform on your router to make it all the more handy when it comes to routing out cavities in your guitar body. Hi, Glenn here, Monster Guitars. It'll be clearer what you're looking at shortly for those who don't recognize it yet. I'm routing the neck pocket into this guitar, the Viper, as I think I'm calling it. Viper, sounds cool. And because it's going to have a tune-o-matic style bridge, well, a wraparound style bridge, which is kind of a tune-o-matic. The point is, a bridge that sits up quite high. I have to route a break angle into the neck pocket so that the neck is slightly back angled to make it more playable. And I've got my template sitting here, positioned rightly to do that, but I'm going to make an adjustment to my router so that this process, and in fact all cavity routing on the surface of my guitar body anywhere, will be easier. And I'm going to do it by using these. They look like pieces of wood just now. They're not. They're actually pieces of clear acrylic, also called perspex. They've just got brown paper on them for protection. And I'm going to use one of these to make a custom, slightly larger, wider base for my router. And it's a really useful thing for a guitar luthier to have, and so I thought I would show you the process of how I do it. I'll be using a fairly small router, well, a comparatively small router, my Makita cordless router, which is great for doing cavities on the guitar body. Now, when I say doing cavities, you don't use the router to remove all the material. You do most of that removal with a Forstner bit on a drill press. You just use the router to trim the edges of that cavity nice and flush with the template that I've got clamped on there, and to make the bottom of the cavity nice and smooth. With a relatively small router like this, one of the risks is that when you're doing that routing, you can tip the edge of the base as it slides off the edge of the template and into the hole, and you can do some damage in your guitar body. Of course, you don't want to do that. So what I'll be doing is taking off that black base there, because it already comes with two bases, that square one and a round one, and I'll be screwing on a much wider base where that's definitely not going to be a risk. So let's proceed. Good. Now I need to countersink the holes that I've just made in the perspex, because of course these are countersunk. I was trying to keep the protective cover on for as long as possible. I'm just going to take it off. It makes it easier for me to see what I'm doing. I can see that I'm screwing these in for the final time now. This recording took longer than I expected, so I've cut most of it out, having to enlarge holes and enlarge holes. Basically, perspex is not forgiving. You can't sort of loosen up some screws and then move things until everything aligns. Everything must align. This stuff is rock hard. You've got to be precise. Now that I've got the base on, I need to get the right spot for the hole in the middle, because I want it to be nicely centered. You can do that just like that. And now I can see exactly where to go. You won't be able to see where the pen is at the moment, the pen, the Sharpie, but I can see it. And just like that, I have a spot. I have a spot for where to drill my hole. I tried to find my hole saw that would be the right size for this hole, but I was unable to find it. Fortunately, there is more than one way to make a hole. So I'm going to use a Forstner bit. Okay, come back when I've drilled my way through this, because I will be here a while. And there it is. All attached with the hole there. You can see the hole isn't quite round. I went over to my spindle sander and shaped it slightly. I saw that I had not drilled straight up and down. There was an angle going on. So the hole on one side wasn't in exactly the same location as the hole on the other. It is now. Everything fits and it pokes through nicely, as you can see. And so there we are. Let's try it out. I won't complete the cavity that I'm routing here. I'll just show you how it works. It's kind of obvious, but I want to show you that it does work. Like so. Very stable, no wobbling around, easy to maneuver. In fact, I was holding it the way that I was because of you, just so that my hands didn't get in the way, but you could hold it by the base and slide it around thus to maneuver it. So there we are. Nice flat bottom on there. Easy to do. If you're going to be a luthier, or really if you're going to go into any sort of highly specialized woodworking, at some point you're going to hack your tools, and don't be scared of doing that. And here is one easy way to get your router to do more.